Another point gain, still unbeaten. How do you view the performance?
It was a difficult game. We sort of anticipated they'd change what they were doing. They were on a very bad run. They conceded 17 goals in their last 5 games and only scored 2. So I said to the lads, they'll come, they'll tighten up, they'll be more difficult to play against, and which is what they did. You know, set piece, they brought everybody back. Well, they haven't done that all season. They've been leaving 3 up, 2 up, but they brought everybody back. And they came with a game plan to be very, very, not to concede really, so to be solid. And they were, and I thought they were, you know, they're a good team, which I know they are. And once they went solid, they're good with the ball. And they were solid, and it was difficult for us to break them down. Although in the first half I felt that they created one great chance where it's hit Jordan on the shoulder and gone over. But their goalkeeper's made an unbelievable save from a free kick that really should have put us 1-0 up. And then we've hit the post as well as a couple of the half chances we had. So personally, I felt at half time we should have been up and leading. We weren't. And it was a difficult game to play against. And I just said to lads, don't be too disappointed. You know, the first thing I said to them before we came out was, we'll try and win the game, but don't get beat. The key is don't get beaten. You know, they're a point above us in the league. Every point matters. And what we didn't want them was to get 4 points away from us. Obviously, we wanted to go 2 points above them, but we just couldn't quite convert our chances. And then late in the game, young Freddie, I thought, had an outstanding game, took a quick throw in our final third, which was not a good idea when we weren't set up, and they had the chance to win it. And the reality is, I think he should have scored, but he didn't. So they'll be disappointed, and I understand that, because last minute we gave them a real gilt-edged chance. But I felt that we did enough to really get the 3 points. But you got to take a draw and good defensive performance from them.
Injury in the warm-up as well. Word and Raoul coming in.
Yeah, so Darian felt an injury, felt a muscle problem in the warm-up, which has happened before to him. We don't take a risk. We've got so many games, we don't take a risk. I've got Raoul on the bench, who's a more than adequate replacement, and Raoul, who's been out for a long time, needs minutes. So it was great to be able to give him minutes. So I thought Raoul was outstanding today. He won all his headers. He looked calm on the ball, and I thought him and Charlie were very, very solid as a centre half pairing. So well done to him coming on. Obviously, we're hoping Darian. I didn't bring Darian on. The only way I'd have brought Darian on, if it was 5-10 minutes to go and we were 1-0 up and they were piling bodies forward, I'd have probably brought another centre half on and gone to a 5. But because we didn't need that, I wasn't going to risk him. So he stayed on the bench, and hopefully should be okay for at least the bench on Tuesday. But if not, we'll rest him and keep him for Saturday.
A clean sheet as well, is that something you're happy with, especially going into a tough run of fixtures with Aveley?
Yeah, I think from my point of view, we had 7 games now unbeaten. 3 of those we've kept clean sheets in. So, we'd only kept 1 clean sheet up until that point in the league all season. So, you've got to be happy. There's 2 teams, and they're allowed to make it difficult for you, and they did. They made it very, very difficult for us. They defended really, really well. When we got crosses and balls in the box, we never quite got the timing right with our runners. We didn't get enough bodies in there, so they did a really good job on us. And you've got to come away from those games and say, well, we didn't win, but we didn't get beaten. That's the key. Just keep accumulating points, keep putting points on the board, and be difficult to beat. And we are difficult to beat. Now we can look forward to Aveley. They're a great side. I've watched them. Very, 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 very good side. Very physical. Very much a threat on all set pieces. Very much a threat in open play with crosses into the box. They've got great forwards, really good forwards, very solid midfield. So it's going to be a really, really tough game for us, and one we're looking forward to. We were prepped for them last time, and that was postponed. So we sort of prepped. We've re-prepped, but we sort of know. We just had a discussion now on what we're thinking of doing for them, and we'll chop and change it, which I always do. Keeps other managers on their toes and opposition on their toes. But ultimately, they'll come here and they'll look to play their usual game and give us a real test and see if the lads are up for it.
Yeah, and finally on the Aveley game, of course, you said no other real injury concerns. Is that a positive as well, having people again like Jesse, Vassi on the bench, just the depth now coming back from injury? Yeah,
and we can change it. Today I thought the 2 wingers started very, very well, and then really they did a good job of every time we got the ball wide, they got bodies in the way, so they made it very difficult for us, and good, and great, all credit to them. So it didn't quite work out for those 2, so I changed it second half and brought Vass and Jesse on. That is a great thing to have, to have Darren go down in the warm up, but have a player like Raoul on the bench is great. 3 or 4 weeks ago, if Darren had gone down injured, I wouldn't have had Roll. So we'd have had to put DeQuain at the back, we'd have put another midfield player in. It made it very, very difficult as we've got like for like now. We haven't got that all over the pitch. There's a couple of positions we're a little bit light on, but ultimately we've got the options now. So I can play a 2, I can play a 1, I can play whatever shape I want. I've got the bodies to do that.
Thanks, Mel.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers.